The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah, go Cowboys! This is Talkin' Cowboys. Streaming live from the Dallas Cowboys World Headquarters at the Star in Frisco.
First down. Handoff, Elliott plowing to the goal line. Barry, sacked by Lawrence. Prescott keeps it, and he bangs it in for the touchdown.
And now your hosts, Isaiah Stanback, Heckma Harrison, Rob Phillips, and Kyle Yeomans.
It is a Thursday edition of Talking Cowboys presented by Tostitos, getting fans right back in the game. Welcome into the SWBC studios at the Star in Frisco. It is a Thursday before the Cowboys and the Chiefs. Week 11 of the NFL season is here, and we are going to talk about the Cowboys offense and how they can exploit that Kansas City defense over the next 45 minutes. Hope you're buckled up, ready to go, because Heckma Harrison's here, Isaiah Stanback's here, Rob Phillips, as always, Chris Beam in the back. I'm Kyle Yeoman. So glad you're with us. And gentlemen, there you go. I mean, it's going to be collecting coins. It's warm, fuzzy feelings all the way from here on out.
Is that from Super Mario?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Love it, Chris.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you go and do the jump, and then you hit the brick, and then the little coin pops down.
How'd it go?
Genius.
What was that?
How did it go?
Doo-doo. Is that how it is?
We could just use that one instead.
Cut that, and then
like it.
if you use that on any other show other than ours, I could just imagine Derek being like, "What the heck was that? What are we doing here?" So,
Ho, 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 ho.
thanks, Brad.
It's another great
That's
one.
even
Christmas
better.
season.
Oh, it is. Yeah, it's 'tis the season. Anybody looked at Christmas lights? Everybody put up their Christmas lights yet?
No, but my wife's been on my head about it, so I guess that's
It's
gonna
coming.
happen here soon.
It's coming. Heckma, is your tree up?
Nope.
Not yet.
Nope.
No.
Do you guys hang your own lights up at your house?
Yeah.
Outside?
Yeah. Since we've moved, though, no. We might put like a little lit up
Yeah, something low.
ornament.
I did it one time, like at the arch of the house, like the very peak. I won't do that again.
Like Christmas vacation
Yeah,
style.
I'm not. That's not me, bro. I was definitely up at the top. My wife left me. So I'll be inside of that. Hey, wait a minute. Now.
Wait.
If I fall and break something, I need somebody to call 911.
Have you ever fallen while doing the Christmas lights?
No, heck no. I was so scared though. I was literally shaking on the top of the peak of my house, just kind of holding it bare, hugging it like this, looking down, like help.
Sound like me with the heights.
Yeah.
Heck, you do that?
I always do all my stuff, man. It's
Outside?
Just, yeah.
Yeah.
That's just where it's,
How long does it normally take you to do it? Because I
It's
don't
a-
have a house yet, so I don't
No,
know.
it's a well. Now that I have, I incorporate the kids in it as well, so it's not one. Yeah.
Get a little heck out there.
No, we get everybody in. I mean, if you want the lights,
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're
and
gonna
so-
put them up.
Team effort.
it's a team effort. And so what happens is really cool. My daughter, she names all of the little blow ups that we have. So we have a snowman. She's named it Cardi B. Don't even ask. It's just what it is, and we're just gonna deal with Christmas as it goes.
The Heckman's house looks like the Griswolds.
It does. I'm married to the black version of the Griswold, so trust me. It's,
I
the
hung
trees.
lights at my house once, and my wife walked outside. It's me and my dad, and his truck was in the front of our house with a ladder on the truck. And my
That's
wife
gangsta.
goes,
No.
who we calling to do this next year?
Who's doing it next time? Because it's not you.
No, but it's a family
Hold
affair,
my
boy. You get everybody
Hold
in
my
on
beer
it.
and watch this, honey.
Yeah, that's the best line. Right before trouble. But
Right?
right before trouble. If you hear that line, then you know something's about to go down. And oh man, I've heard that a couple different times in my life. I grew up in a country family out in Waco, and we had some land out there. There was a couple hold my beers.
That's awesome.
It was fun. It was a lot of fun. But anyways, with the with it being November 18th, I feel like everybody's still. I was driving through a neighborhood yesterday, and every other house already had their lights up and stuff. So I was asking you guys if you were on that train yet.
Well, it's big business now for like these little lawns. Usually it's like a lawn company, lawn
does it?
service that comes out there and just hangs your lights now.
Yeah, you just
It's like
kind
a
of
side
bundle
hustle.
it together with your lawn service.
It's like $300, for you to rent them, for them to come put your lights up, take them down, and
Might need to look at that then going forward.
yeah.
Rob's like, that's not that bad.
Yeah, less effort for me.
Yeah, there you go. All right, news and notes from the Cowboys back on the practice field yesterday, and it really seemed like it was a lot of good news from the Cowboys. No bad notifications from Rob Phillips yesterday. Thank you, Heck.
That was for heck. That was just for heck. Yeah, this is the cleanest injury report I've seen since, I don't know, week 1, maybe, knock on wood a few times. There's only one guy who was limited. Nobody missed practice, that's on the active roster currently. Tyron Smith limited with the ankle injury. Only other guys on the injury report, Amari Cooper, Zeke, Will Greer, the backup quarterback, Cedric Wilson, and Deshaun Wright, all full.
Wow. So no CD even on the injured list?
He's on it.
Oh, okay.
He's on it, but a full participant.
Full.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
with that tricep deal. So he's good.
Well, that's good because I know at least toward the back end of that game, that was one of my worries was looking at him on the sideline and him, of course, not coming back in. A lot of that had to do with the fact that it was 43-3. So thank goodness for that. He didn't have to come back in. So I'm glad to see him
Tricep.
ready to go.
Yeah.
I thought it was a shoulder when I
thought
was
it was
watching the
too.
game.
Arm contusion is what they said during the game, but he looked okay on the sideline there.
Is that the new word for boo-boo? Contusion?
I think so.
Is it a bruise or
Some guy came at me with like 10 questions. So you mean a bruise? Is that what that is? I'm like, yeah, that's what I'm just giving you the clinical term.
Quad contusion is the worst.
Sounds bad.
Oh, it's terrible.
Why is it worse than any other contusion?
Because you can't bend. You can't bend your leg. That's why thigh pads are so important. A lot of guys back in the day used to try to take the thigh pads out, and they would get fined. So guys would literally take the thigh pad. High school students don't listen to this. Take the thigh pads, take a razor blade, cut it open, and it's a hard plastic insert. So it's like really thin, and you guys would slide that into their pants and say that they have their thigh pads because they do. But if you didn't have that and you took a shot to the thigh, oh man, you have to sleep with your knee bent, wrapped with an ace bandage, because if you straighten it out and it starts trying to, the scar tissue starts trying to build, and you try to bend your knee, have fun with that.
Like sitting down, I feel like even right now,
terrible.
like it would hurt if you're sitting on a stool or if you're just working,
That happened to Des Bryant against I believe it was the Jets. Remember that, Rob?
Yeah.
Remember that's what he had.
Yeah, you're right.
He did I think it was a punt return, and it put him out for a while, like 6 weeks.
Wow.
It sucks.
Yeah, it was bad.
Goodness. 6 weeks for a contusion, huh?
It was bad. We lost him for a while that week.
That's not fun. Not fun. Well, luckily, CeeDee Lamb's good to go, and we're going to see him back on the field this week because, well, this Cowboys offense has an opportunity to really make their name known across the nation if it hasn't been already. I feel like the nation's already taken notice on what the Cowboys are doing on that side of the football, but I want to kind of keep the opening conversation of this show centered around Dak Prescott because you're looking at the stats going into it with Mahomes and Prescott, and this is a historically, a potential for a historic matchup because of the numbers coming into it. You look at some of the different comparisons of games before. Manning and Romo are on that conversation. You look at Breeze and Romo back in 2014. There are a bunch of different ones. That one didn't go well for the Cowboys. But there are a bunch of different big-time matchups that this lines up against in terms of quarterbacks. And, of course, it's Dak's first trip to Arrowhead. It's Mahomes' first game against his childhood favorite team in the Dallas Cowboys. So is this the best opportunity to see Dak Prescott take that step to being considered elite, not just around Cowboys Nation, but around the entire nation as a whole? Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I want you to answer that question.
Okay, well, yeah. This is you want to go against the best. You want to circle this on the calendar and say, look, I get an opportunity to show everybody how I match up. Obviously, it's a team game, and you need so many different people to help you be successful. But for Dak, I'm sure he's tired of everybody keeping him on the outside of that elite conversation. And there are some guys that you don't touch the Aaron Rodgerses, the Tom Brady's, even Patrick Mahomes. He's done it at a high level for so long. So come on. But you cannot continue to keep him out of that conversation. And there's so many people that they try and push to the front without even giving him credit for his QBR, how he came in the league, not turning the ball over. I just feel as though obviously it's the Cowboy hate. I'm just going to put it out there. It's just the Cowboy hate, but you can no longer deny Dak of elite status. And then, he has Ezekiel Elliott. He has the offensive line. And what if this, what if that? He has all of those things, and he's successful in it. He's done it really well with Kellen Moore's offense and the throws that he's making. Like if one of these guys had made a walk-off touchdown throw like he did against New England, we'd still be seeing the highlights from him. But Dak does it, We see it a couple times. It's not on replay because it's Dak, right? And then they don't want to go back to when they were talking about when Wentz was better than him or the Detroit quarterback was better than him. They even
Matthew Stafford.
Matthew, the one that's
the now current. Oh, I thought you meant
Matt Stafford as well. Matt
Jared
Stafford
Goff is who you're
and
talking
Jared
about.
Goff. But they compared him, and now, especially last season when it came down to all of the contract talk. Was Dak going to get paid, and what was Dak going to get paid? How does he measure up? Patrick Mahomes I think he got signed his contract right before Dak signed his. You can no longer keep him outside of this contract. I mean, outside of this conversation, whether it be to money or playing. He's showing you at each level, and that's just my belief. And I'm a homer, so take it with a grain of salt because that's where I'm putting it. But I'm just saying, there's no way that you can keep Dak outside of the conversation any longer.
Statistically, it's true. He's played better than anybody else in the league right now over those guys. He's played better than those, and it's on the film, too. And I agree with you completely. And, yes, we are a Cowboys podcast, but at some point you look at the statistics, you look at the completion percentage, the way he's taking care of the football, the way he's navigating an offense, and you have to put him in that conversation.
Yeah, I personally think he's getting the due he needs nationally. I hear you. I know there's haters out there, especially within this division, the fan bases and all that, but I think people are recognizing how great of a season he's having. I don't know that he's considered the top of the MVP race right now, but this is the game to elevate yourself into maybe the first spot. Him and Kyler, I think he and Kyler should be considered the top two guys right now, based on the way their teams are playing. They're rising stars in the NFL. I think that always should carry weight, what they're doing as far as improvement. And then they play each other at some point down the road, too. So I think that'll be a lot of fun. But I think if you go on the road to Arrowhead and you go toe-to-toe with Pat Mahomes and you win that game and you play well, I think he should be the front runner for MVP. That's just me personally.
Why Kyler and Dak over some of the other quarterbacks? Josh Allen's having a great year. I mean, there are other guys out there, but why those two?
Well, maybe I'm partial to wanting to see something new. Maybe that's just me. But you mentioned the stats. I mean, among starters, the top two guys in terms of completion percentage, just for one stat, it's Kyler and then it's Dak, and it's over 70%. They're the only two guys in the league doing that. And you think about, like Mike McCarthy said yesterday, this is not a dink and dunk offense that we're running here. That's what makes it so impressive.
Yeah.
And they both miss a little time off the field, but usually this award goes to the teams who have the best records, and these teams are right there, Arizona and Dallas right now.
What do you think?
What's your original question?
Is Dak supposed to be in the elite conversation? Does Dak deserve to be in that elite conversation?
Yeah, I don't think he isn't. I think I'm along the same lines as Rob.
Okay.
Cowboys are going to get hate regardless. I don't care if it's quarterback, running back, offensive line, it doesn't matter. Quarterback, the Cowboys are going to receive hate from around the league, around other fan bases. That's just a reality. But also the reality is Dak is getting respect from the league, from players, from people who decide on who's having a conversation in terms of MVP race. I think Dak is in those conversations. I think what separates Dak from some of these other guys that we're talking about when we start talking about the Aaron Rodgers, the Tom Brady's, and things like that is his playoffs. That's what people are waiting to see. So I don't think this game so much is going to give him that big jump that everybody needs to see to be in this, consider this, for guys to consider him to be, oh my God, he's this elite quarterback. I think he's an elite quarterback in terms of how he's playing right now. But when you talking about elite in terms of career-wise, I think people are going to look at the playoffs. And that's just the facts.
That's our mailbag question today, actually. Why are the Cowboys considered underdogs? It's resume. I mean, it's resume. Pat Mahomes is 25 years old, and he's done it all already, and he's playing really well, and this team's starting to ascend like we thought they would, and they're playing at Arrowhead. That's why the Cowboys are underdogs in this game. But if you look at the whole body of work, there's no reason they can't go in there and win the way they play when they're playing their best.
And Matt Stafford is considered elite, and he hadn't won a playoff game. And
true.
so
That's another example.
There's what I'm referring to is the people that say, like right now when you talk about the MVP race, how is he not tops in that MVP race?
Well, who do you think's ahead of him? Like nationally, who do you think people are talking about more?
I think people are definitely talking more about Kyler. People are definitely still talking more about Aaron Rodgers, even with the games that he missed over Dak. I think even Tom Brady at this point. I just believe
Derrick Henry's probably in that conversation as a non-quarterback.
But he's not going to win it now.
He's not
No, not now.
Right. And so, I mean, look, just going back to years past, I think it was 87, John Elway won MVP. But then at the same time, Montana was balling. Rice was balling. Jerry Rice won Offensive Player of the Year that year. And they went to the play. I believe they played, Denver played New York. The Giants in the Super Bowl that year. The Giants won that game. Mm-hmm. But still, you talk about how the national media tries to prop other guys up against. And it's always good to use PFF when it is in favor of your argument.
That's a good point. I think we're all guilty of that.
Yeah, I was going to say, I definitely do that.
If I need something to support what I'm saying, I'll go to PFF.
It's like, it's the end-all, be-all when people say, well, PFF said. Well, right now, even when you go to PFF, Dak's numbers are legit versus everybody else. All I'm saying is give him his due now. Mm-hmm. Give him his due. That's my only point on that.
There are guys Stephen A. is making an NFL part of his career out of hating on the Cowboys. It's kind of a wrestling character, and he knows it. Like it's
that's his stick.
Yeah, it's a bit. So beyond that, I don't think there's a lot of hate for Dak. I do think, like Isaiah said, there is some of they're this good. They gotta go prove it when it really counts,
I think it's a little bit of in between. Sure, the resume does play a factor because I think if maybe Dak Prescott would have had some playoff success, and certainly with this team he could have playoff success, but once again, if it doesn't happen, then he's going to be right back there, slotted back down because of how quickly people can turn. And also, not to mention, I think, like I said, I think it could be kind of in the middle here because if he goes out against Kansas City at Arrowhead and he throws for 350, throws 3 touchdowns, doesn't throw a pick, Cowboys win by a touchdown or 2, I think that conversation is automatically, okay, Kyler, you're doing great, but Dak Prescott's the MVP candidate. He's the front runner at the moment. That's what kind of game this could be for Dak. I'm not saying that. I'm not predicting that's the case. But if he goes out and does it, which he could, then all of a sudden he's right up at the top of that MVP race, and I don't think it's a doubt.
You don't want him to win the MVP, though. There's an MVP jinx.
The jinx?
Yeah, the last person to win the MVP and to win the Super Bowl was 1999 and Kurt Warner.
I like
so
that.
It's been over 25 years.
So, Dak, I need you to throw for 190, one touchdown. Zeke's going to go for 250, and the Cowboys.
The league MVP in the regular season does not translate to Super Bowl success.
Yeah.
It's true.
There's only been 10 players to ever do it.
Well, if they get the bye, and I'm getting way ahead of myself.
Jump out the cake, Rob.
I'm just saying, if they get the bye and win however many games, and he's still playing at this level, he's the MVP. I don't think you can make another case for it. I really don't. And I think that's part of his story too. Mm-hmm. I think he should win comeback too. But
he could win comeback in his sleep. Yeah. I think he could win comeback player of the year right now. If the season ended, it would definitely be his. But you're right. That consistency has to continue. Now, real quickly before we take our first break, every time I look at this number, I'm astonished. But 70% completion. How just unbelievably tough is that to do at any level of football across the board? High school football, college football, it could be middle school football. Completing 70% of your passes is unbelievable. Yep. Him and Kyler Murray are both doing that. How tough is that to do from a quarterback standpoint?
It's really tough. And I think it's a testament to not only the system, but his adaptation of that system, his decision-making, his accuracy, all those things. It's not, when people hear completion percentage, people just think, okay, well, man, he's really accurate with the ball. That's not always the case. It's also about the decision making when you throw the ball, when you decide to keep the ball, when you decide to dump it off to a shorter route instead of trying to force something down the field. So it's a picture, it's a snapshot image of something that's outside the frame, right? There's a larger picture, but you can't encompass everything with just that one stat. But I think he's doing an amazing job. And yes, 70% is crazy, especially in this NFL. Especially in the system that they're running.
That's just nuts for me to look at. When Heckma and I are doing a high school game or a college game and we see somewhere like 60s, mid-60s of completion percentage, we're like, that guy's balling.
Yeah. Money.
That guy's dealing right now. 70% is just next level, and Dak Prescott's doing that. All right, when we come back, what kind of mismatches does the Cowboys offense have against that Kansas City defense? Where are the weak spots? Because there definitely are some on the Chiefs side of things when we return with more Talkin' Cowboys.
Honey, big news.
Gary, are you okay?
Oh, I'm not Gary anymore. I'm Jackie Flash.
What?
See, I want the latest smartphone, but the best deals are only for new customers. So to get a new customer deal, I changed my name to Jackie Flash.
Okay, but the best smartphone deals at AT&T are for everyone, new and existing customers.
That's huge. Then guess who's getting a deal?
Is it Jackie Flash?
Jackie Flash.
It's not complicated. At AT&T, our best smartphone deals are for everyone. Restrictions apply. Visit ATT.com for details.
New Dr. Pepper Zero Sugar. You deserve it.
I do deserve that.
You deserve decadent flavor without sugar. And a day at the beach without sand getting everywhere. And a relaxing bath that your children don't interrupt.
I deserve all that?
It's really just a visual metaphor for Dr. Pepper Zero Sugar. Everything you want, nothing you don't.
A visual metaphor on the radio. I do deserve that.
Dr. Pepper Zero Sugar. The zero you deserve is finally here.
Before there was a draft, you could size up a cowboy by 3 simple factors: the crease in his hat, the bend of his brim, and his unbending attitude. A man Stetson didn't just protect him from what life threw at him, it projected a rugged, unstoppable spirit. Stetson hats are still American-made with pride right here in Texas. They're still the unofficial crown of all self-respecting cowboys, and Stetson is proud to be on the field with America's team. Find a retailer nearest you at stetson.com/cowboys.
There's nothing as unique as our eyes, which is why Essilor pioneers ways to make lenses as unique as you. Verilux for super sharp vision, Essential Blue for protection, and Crizal for freedom from glare. 3 cutting-edge solutions in a single unique lens. So whatever your needs, insist on Essilor. Visit your local Essilor experts and find the perfect lens for you. See more, do more, Essilor.
Back to Talkin' Cowboys.
It's a great people, great pay replay here on Talkin' Cowboys. You've heard it by now. Jason Witten, big number 82, gold jacket Witt, has joined the Caliber Collision team. You can join him to do great work with great people for great pay. Apply now at jobs@caliber.com. That's jobs@caliber.com. Welcome back into a Thursday edition of Talkin' Cowboys. This is a fun one. Cowboys offense versus the Chiefs defense. Hope you've enjoyed it so far. We've got a special guest coming tomorrow. I haven't told anybody in this room exactly who that special guest is.
Awesome.
I will reveal that at the end of the show. How about that?
How about that?
I will reveal it at the end of the show. We've got a special guest joining us. Isaiah just threw his phone down in just question of what that.
How about that? We were on set for the draft coverage 3 years ago, and we had Dave Campo on.
Oh, geez.
And he said something to instead of
Campo.
Yeah, Lindsay kind of coaxed him into doing it, and he was like, how about da? Right into the camera and said that.
Oh, no.
Awesome. I love Campo.
Oh, Campo.
Firecracker.
Very.
What about this Kansas City defense? Are there any weapons on that side? Are there any problems on that side of the ball? Sure, there's probably a couple, but where are the weak spots? Isaiah, when you look at the film on this, where can the Cowboys have some success? Best offense in the league. This is not the best defense in the league, no doubt about it. But if you're going to try and keep pace with an offense that's catching fire like the Chiefs, you're going to have quite the game on your offensive side of the ball. So where does that start?
I think we can exploit their corners. I believe that they have some guys on the defensive line. It's not, and at the second level. I think their strongest point of their team is at their safety position, whether it was Sorensen and Honey Badger. Both of those guys back there are pretty doggone good. So you want to try to keep things on the outside, keep them out the game. They're going to find their way into the game. The Honey Badger is just too good of an athlete. He's going to be all around the place. But I think we can exploit their cornerbacks, and that's going to be dependent on us, obviously, making sure that guys like Chris Jones don't have an opportunity to go off and
create pressure
and create some issues for us. If Steele's going to be over there, that'll be his thunder buddy for the day. So we have to make sure that him, Melvin Ingram, obviously the newly acquired Melvin Ingram, keep those guys at bay so that Dak has time to throw the ball. Because if he does have time to throw the ball, we can take advantage of these cornerbacks all day long.
Did you say Steele for offensive line?
Mm-hmm.
Smith not coming back? Are you talking about right tackle?
I'm talking about left tackle.
Yeah, I think Smith's coming back this week, right? He was limited in practice.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Kind of scaring me. Did I hear it? Did I miss something?
We haven't got the word that he's back yet, so I'm assuming Steele's still there.
They're hopeful. Yeah. They're hopeful. They practice in pads today.
Oh, man, I was I had already chalked it up that Smith was going to be back.
I think they're very optimistic about it, but as Mike said yesterday, they want to see him hopefully go through a full week. So I don't know if you can just put it in pen yet that he's playing this week. Yeah, but I think they're hopeful.
Okay. Isaiah just ruined my whole morning.
I mean, the reality they have a couple dudes at DN. I mean, they're not like freaking all pro guys right now, but I mean, Chris Jones and Frank Clark, both of those guys are respectable. Both of those guys are respectable, and then they have some help at the second level now. Obviously Hitchens and like I said, Melvin Ingram. Both of those guys. Those are some respectable dudes now that you have to acknowledge and that you have to take care of. Otherwise, if they get some confidence, they can wreck some stuff for you.
What do you think?
Steve Spagnuolo, it's your birthday. You know how I feel about guys that played against us and in the NFC East. Spagnuolo, he's another guy. I'm on the revenge tour with him as well, man.
Haven't forgotten those.
I ain't forgot about what Spags did to us and the 4-3 defense that he brings. But you're right, Chris Jones, Frank Clark, all of those guys are guys that you have to watch, and they play an aggressive style. They're trying to make up for some of their some of the things that they can't do. In Anthony Hitchens, man, I hated to see Anthony Hitchens leave because he was solid for us in the middle. But I'm happy that he was able to get a Super Bowl job. But he's a guy also that I think, he's slowing down a little bit. And I think running game wise, we can do some things against them. I think by getting Zeke established early is going to be very important. When we had an interview with Coach Dana Dimble from UTEP, and I was pointing out, first thing I did was I attacked him about his gray hair. He's like, well, you can't talk about me. Look at the gray in your beard. He said, well, sometimes the best defense is a good offense. So, hey, I'm gonna go right to that. That I know that our offense has to. I know field position ball control is very important in a game like this, but just establishing the run I think is going to be very important. But Honey Badger. The Honey Badger has been one of my all-time favorite players from LSU all the way into the league. I love him. He's overly aggressive at times, and I think we could take advantage of his overly aggressiveness. But Daniel Sorensen, he's the guy that after I watched tape that I felt like we could pin the tail on the donkey on number 49 on Sorensen. And I'm looking for Dalton Schultz, who, man, by the way, Dalton Schultz ran an out and up last week. That was textbook. I mean, and Dak missed him on that throw. But those are the kinds of things that I feel like we could take advantage of, especially when they go nickel. And I think right now Juan Thornhill has replaced Daniel Sorensen. So they pretty much bring him in nickel situations. But again, I just think that for our offense, you just come on, man, pick a position. And I think we can exploit that. But I think no matter what they do, they have got to find an answer for what Amari Cooper can do to this defense. They can't double team everybody.
Y'all buying this 3-game stretch that they're on right now? They have not allowed more than 20 points in the last 3 games. Now, one game was to the Giants. One game was against Green Bay without Rodgers. And then 14 points to Vegas.
The Vegas Raiders.
So it's an average of like 15 points a game during this last 3 games. And I know, look, Carolina, when we played Carolina, it was 3 games of great play by Carolina, but they hadn't played the Cowboys. Yeah. So we'll see. I think you're right. Like they got some strong in the middle guys. Hitchens, Bolton's a young linebacker who makes plays
Missouri.
for them.
He was so good. Frisco Lone Star guy here, too.
Yeah. Is he really?
Yeah, Bolton went to Lone Star.
Good young player. I'm with Isaiah, though, in terms of the corners. Like, I think just watching back that Raider game, they tried to spread out. When they spread out their defense, they put Waller out wide. They hit him in crossers and stuff over the middle. So I think you kind of stretch out their safeties and stuff like that. This is an offense that can do that.
They have a problem with the tight end.
Yeah so I think that's one area to watch. And obviously, like you said, they'll try to get the running game going for sure, especially in this road environment. Try to calm down the crowd a little bit because it's going to be loud.
So I'm looking at PFF, and of course PFF's always right whenever it agrees with me. But out of the base defense for the Chiefs, and they run that 4-3 base for the most part, there are only 3 players in the top 50 of their position grade-wise this year. And that's Tyrann Mathieu, Juan Thornhill, and then Jones off of the defensive line. But when they go to nickel, it's a much better look. So you're probably going to see a ton of nickel. That's what they want to run out of. It's what they run out of the majority of the time. It's what the Cowboys have gone up against pretty much the majority of the time this year. So I'm interested to see it. I think Fenton's having a good year as well. He's been limited in snaps, but he's had really good snaps. I'm interested to see if they use him in a couple more situations like that. But, man, I don't think of it as looking at it and saying, kind of like how we did going into Carolina, of like, they haven't played anybody, but they're a really good defense. I think this is kind of a little bit in between. They've played a couple people, but I don't think that they're a bad defense.
No, they're not. And their corners are good. Snead's good too.
Snead is a good corner.
You're trying to look at they're young back there, and the Cowboys are so good on their perimeter. So that if that's one area every week, really, you look at it and say they should be able to win, you know.
We mentioned this yesterday, but 2 high safeties for the Cowboys potentially against their offense. Do you expect 2 high against the Cowboys offense this week?
I think that you have to. I think both of these offenses, you have to take the bend but don't break approach. Mm-hmm. You can't give up big plays to either one of these teams. I mean, it's going to be a headache for both defensive coordinators trying to wrangle up either one of these teams. That's the best approach. If you go single high, you're going to give up a big play. And a big play is what separates this game. You can have 60 snaps in a game, and if you got 3 breakout plays, that changes the whole tide of the game. You could be good for 50 plus snaps, but those handful of plays, can kill you. So that's the type of game that we're getting involved with on both sides. Both teams have to deal with it.
Yeah. Oh man.
And it's the flexibility of Tyrann Mathieu and his ability to play at close to the line of scrimmage. The Honey Badger is. Man, he's special. He
don't care.
No,
Honey Badger don't care.
He's small in stature, but he will stick his nose up there in there, and he makes life hell for you, especially when you cannot establish your running game and you're tilting your hand that, oh, this is a pass. They will send him on a blitz. And
it's like Polamalu.
Yes, Spagnuolo does not have a problem with blitzing, and I think that's the one thing that I feel so much more comfortable about is them trying to blitz Dak and relegate guys to the front of our offensive line. We have to win this in the trenches. That is a must. We have to win in the trenches.
You think he's going to want to blitz Dak? I wonder.
He's not going to change his colors for us.
Yeah, I do think having Ingram now in the lineup for a couple games changes them a little bit, gives them another.
Just a rotation piece.
Yeah, and a guy that, just adds more versatility because they move him around. And, man, he delivered a thump in the run game against Vegas that, Isaiah was talking about, like, being physical and stuff. Like, that's a physical element that's added to their defense now. And so, it becomes more important whether Tyrann plays in this game or not.
I'm mad at Ingram for that because he hit Josh Jacobs, and that's my running back.
Yeah, it was on Jacobs. That's right.
Yeah, that's my fantasy
percentage-wise, percentage-wise, just give me a percentage, P. on Smith.
On Tyrann Smith?
Yeah, come on, just give me a percentage.
Just to make us feel better or worse.
I'm going to go 50-50.
Oh, don't chalk me right now. Come on, man. Seriously, come and give me something.
It's early in the week. I always say, tell me after Thursday what he did in practice, and then I'll feel better.
So tomorrow we will
First thing in the morning. First thing in the morning.
Hey, text me at 7:30.
Yeah, I got you.
What's the percentage? What's it look like?
The one thing I do want to bring up is our third down percentage. That's something that we have to improve on. Right now we're at 45%. On third down, and this is a game we obviously know we can't give these boys the ball back. We want to limit the amount of times they get the ball in their hands. So on third down, we got to keep these chains moving. So to Heckman's point, we got to get this running game going. We have to get this running game going because we cannot be delegated to just sitting back and throwing the ball. Even though we can, we want to make sure that we have a equal opportunal type offense in terms of being able to run it when we want to and be able to throw it when we want to keep these guys off balance. But we have to turn that percentage up. I think in this game we got to be over 60% on third down in order to limit their opportunities.
We're just waiting on fourth down anyway.
True. True.
Would it surprise you to say that the Cowboys have the 5th highest third down percentage?
Woo!
Yeah, that doesn't matter. I throw that out the window. I'm talking about I don't care what everybody else in the league is doing in this game.
You've got to be better.
You got to be better.
You can't get behind the chain. Sorry, the penalties, the holding penalties. You can't have it this week. You can't get into 2nd and 20 and all that.
No, you can't. And in Denver, that was a problem. You could not convert because you were so back behind the chains. You had so many long situations, and it hurt you. Atlanta, you probably had 3 third downs in the entire game, and they all came in the second half because of the way you were moving the football and the way you kind of put it on them early. So I don't know if you can really take that game into account.
And I think this is going to be our greatest challenge. I talk about emotional intelligence. I think this is going to be our greatest challenge in terms of that, and we've had some issues with that this year. We have had some issues with that this year. KZ had a few. I think A. Brown had one. There's been a couple cases where our guys are kind of getting back and forth, mouthing and pushing and all that jazz. I believe this is going to be that type of game. I think the Honey Badger is going to come in there talking mess. I think the environment's going to be crazy.
Tyreek Hill's known for that too.
Yeah, I think the environment's going to be crazy. I think obviously we know it's going to be loud. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be primetime television. Guys going to be flying around hitting. These are two offenses that feel like they can't be stopped, and the defenses, they both feel disrespected because nobody's talking about their ability to stop anybody. And they're home. So I think that we can expect these guys to try to get the Cowboys out of their mental state, their right mindset, because they know that if they get them in 3rd and longs, it negates their ability to be able to try to convert some things. So I caution us in terms of our emotional intelligence to be able to just remain sound, remain within yourself, stick with the game plan, ignore the noise, and go ahead and push forward because they're going to try to get you off your game.
Real quickly before we take our second break, which of the games that the Cowboys have played so far this season have you been tested the most in that regard? I think the first one that comes to mind is New England, but have there been any other ones like that?
I'm trying to think of just one game off the back. There was one. I just can't think which one it was.
You talking about as far as tested
from a mental capacity, from a discipline against the Buccaneers? Yeah,
Tampa.
I could see that. Yeah, just from discipline standpoint.
Yeah.
They're the champs. They come in. I mean, they let it hang because they the champs. Yeah. They got the banner going up. It doesn't get any better than that. These guys, they got to axe the grind with the whole league because they felt like they got embarrassed on during the Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. So it doesn't surprise me. Like you said, Tyrann Mathieu, all of those guys are going to be chirping, and there's only one way to handle the chirping.
Bust them in the mouth.
Bust them in the mouth.
I like that. All right, when we come back here on Talking Cowboys, what are we talking about? Well, we're talking about Kellen's scheme.
Scorched earth.
Are we going scorched earth, or are we going conservative to keep the defense at bay? We'll talk about it next on Talking Cowboys.
Hi, I'm Clint Tillison with...
And I'm Jay Novacek, and we're both with...
United Ag and Turf, the official tractor provider of the Dallas Cowboys.
So, if you need a tractor to bale some hay, a mower to cut some grass, or a gator to get some chores done...
Get a John Deere at United Ag and Turf.
And then, let's get to work.
Hey, Jay, that's my line.
Well, not today.
Get to work with a John Deere tractor package that's just right for you and your budget. Visit UnitedAgAndTurf.com.
The Cowboys way, where 16 Hall of Famers and 5 championships shows us what success looks like. Where turkey is always the second best part of Thanksgiving Day. Where we are all defined by one single thing, the star. Where we as fans know it's our job to keep the tradition going. Bank of America is proud to be the official bank of the Dallas Cowboys and to support the quest of living life the Cowboys way.
Copyright 2020, Bank of America Corporation.
Want to use what the pros use? How about the official men's skincare brand of the Dallas Cowboys, Jack Black? Right now, you can get the Jack Black Starter, a curated collection of Cowboys locker room favorites for just $10 with free shipping. The starter includes 4 Jack Black skincare favorites, plus a full-sized intense therapy lip balm. Go to getjackblack.com/Cowboys and use the code word TEAMJB. That's getjackblack.com/Cowboys. The Jack Black Starter, $10, free shipping.
Honey, big news.
Gary, are you okay?
Oh, I'm not Gary anymore. I'm Jackie Flash.
What?
See, I want the latest smartphone, but the best deals are only for new customers. So, to get a new customer deal, I changed my name to Jackie Flash.
Okay, but the best smartphone deals at AT&T are for everyone, new and existing customers.
That's huge. Then guess who's getting a deal?
Is it Jackie Flash?
Jackie Flash.
It's not complicated. At AT&T, our best smartphone deals are for everyone. Restrictions apply. Visit att.com for details.
Back to Talkin' Cowboys.
Whether you're watching from home or you're cheering in the stands with Essilor lenses, you can see every exciting play. Book an appointment at your local Essilor experts and see what Essilor can do for you. See more, do more, Essilor. That's a new one. I like it.
The camera was
very well done. Yeah, the camera was like trying to focus back and forth every time it switched. No, it was good. It was funny because the Essilor lenses are always clear. They're always crisp.
Oh, yeah.
Even more so than an HD camera.
I can't see without them.
Nope. They're fantastic. And those are transitional, too, and I'm always jealous whenever – I told you this in the parking lot the other day at North Texas. We were walking to the stadium for our game, and he goes, "Did you grab your sunglasses?" And I was like, "No." And I was like, "I would ask you if you grabbed yours, but – they're the same thing as what you're actually wearing."
But you know what? You have the opportunity. The Essilor people made the same offer.
They asked me if I wanted
everybody.
Yep.
Hey, Pete, quick question. Have you gone?
I have not yet. Kids, man.
Get out of here.
Just
it's November.
Leave.
He was. Never mind. No, okay.
Kyle, you know what we haven't talked
Kindly
about?
leave, sir.
What happened we talked
This
about?
is the battle of the $40 million per year quarterback.
Yeah.
It sure is.
A lot of money in the backfield.
There's only 3 quarterbacks getting paid $40 million a year.
It's a caliber collision game.
It's definitely a caliber collection game. Get money.
Get that bank and then keep them safe.
We talked about that on Media Mash yesterday. How and I hadn't thought about it either, but it's like nobody even talks about Dak's contract anymore, and
because they can't.
And the value. Is he worth it? And all this stuff. I mean, I think the answer is. I think we have the answer.
It's a resounding yes. Yeah. The way they
that went away pretty fast, didn't it?
It did. It did.
Thank goodness.
I was never on that fence, but because
we all wanted to pay him.
Yeah,
we all wanted it to be an extension. I don't think there was any conflict on this show about getting Dak Prescott signed up. And honestly, if you cover this team, I don't know how you could be outside of that. I mean, knowing what he brings to the table and things of the sort, even as a fan, a lot of fans were against it. Fine. I get how there's a little bit of a rift there, but the more you look at it, the more it makes sense.
Steve Dennis brought up a good point on that show. I mean, there's about 6 teams you feel like can really win it this year, and it's because of the quarterback play.
Yep.
And the Cowboys are in that group.
Oh, that's so fun to hear. I love it. All right, final couple minutes. Kellen Moore, is there a chance to be conservative here, kind of play things safe, let Dak Prescott run the offense, manage things, and just, make sure your defense wins the field position battle and you're not pushed up against the wall. You're not necessarily giving the ball back. Or, gentlemen, is there a chance to go scorched earth and go super aggressive early, throw Connor McGovern out in the slot, throw Zeke out in the slot, get somebody in motion, do a reverse? I don't even care. How does Kellen Moore attack this game plan?
Wow. You said it was going to be a change. I see it. I'm going to say this too before I make my point. I'm a big fan of Eric Bieniemy. I feel like this man should have been a head coach a long time ago.
No doubt.
I do not like the fact that when Kansas City starts to struggle, everyone starts saying, well, maybe Reed and Bieniemy are not on the same page. You were not saying that when they were going to Super Bowl, so stop it. And so for the matchup of offensive minds, you got a lot of genius people calling offenses on Sunday in this game. And I just feel like Kellen Moore is ascending at such a fast rate that people are not even able to recognize his genius. We talk about the formations for Kansas City and the different things that they do. How do you prepare for an offense that's running every formation, 12, 11, all of those things? It's really hard to game plan for what Kellen Moore is doing because each and every week he's expanding on his play calling. And so when I think about this game, obviously you don't want to hang your defense out to dry. You definitely cannot have a repeat of the Denver game where you had less than 20 minutes with the ball. So that's the only reason why I say field position is going to be important. Somebody said it, taking the crowd out of it with the running game. Yep. That's going to be important as well. But I think we put our foot on their neck as well. I think we go right back to firing. We go right back to it. What's good?
Are you okay with them going for it on 4th down like they have been in the past?
Absolutely. Don't change a thing.
Keep that aggressiveness.
Don't change that against putting your defense in a potentially bad position?
Yes, that's kind of what the conversation is. It could definitely put you in a bad position.
In a way, it's contradictory to say that, but I want to see this Cowboys teams be aggressive. And I think Mike McCarthy has continued win, lose, or draw. And whether he goes 0 for 4 on 4th downs or 3 for 1 on 4th downs, he's continuing to be aggressive. And that's all I'm looking for is don't change up your spots now. Don't get to that big time game like we did. Look, it took Tom Brady, what was it, a minute or something to get that drive. Let's not pull off the gas on them. Let's keep it down. Let's win this one.
Yeah, but to your question, I have a question. Is it harder to do that and be that aggressive on 4th down in a crowd environment like this on the road? Do you worry about pre-snap communication, penalties, and guys on the same page?
No, because so much of the game is nonverbal now.
Okay,
I think there's more. That's always kind of laugh because. No disrespect to fans, but the crowd always gets loud when you break the huddle. Like
and that's the communication.
The communication's already taking place.
Yeah.
You know, so like if you want to be loud, well, I shouldn't. I'm not. Well, they're not listening to us. Hopefully, be loud.
They are.
Yeah. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, be loud for Cowboys fans. Whenever we have our next home game, be loud in the huddle. Like when those teams come to the huddle, be loud, because that's when you're communicating to the offensive line. That's when you're communicating to everybody else to know what they're supposed to do. Now at the line of scrimmage, you're making alterations. But if I'm a quarterback, I'm coming up and I'm tapping my center and I'm communicating directly. And my receivers, it's all nonverbals anyway. It's all hand signals and nonverbals. So to your point, no, I don't foresee that being an issue. I am concerned though about us being as aggressive as we've been and not being successful with it. Now we're giving Kansas City the ball on their side of the 50, most likely.
Yeah, that's a fair concern.
No, it is. And I'm starting to think about the next two of the next 3 weeks. I mean, of course, you've got the Thanksgiving game here, but really the 2 next road games you have as a ball club are 2 of the tougher places to play in the league, in the Superdome and Arrowhead. I mean, those are the next 2 road games you've got. So this is an opportunity not only to win this game and to keep the pedal down, but to also learn and to pick up different tendencies from your team that you could take into the postseason as well, to take into the playoffs. Because if you have to go to Lambeau, hopefully it's home field and the road to the Super Bowl is through AT&T Stadium. I'm not saying that. But if you have to go on the road and you have to play at Lambeau, you have to play at SoFi, you have to play at Arizona, you've done it already. You've already beaten teams like Arrowhead and at the Superdome.
You are number 1 in scoring. You are the number 1 offense. You have nothing to – you got the best hand, you know.
Yeah.
Don't second guess it. When you got it, play it. You know, and this isn't the time. We don't have to come up against Kansas City and start second-guessing what we do. Be aggressive. You know, if we want to put the AFC on notice, put them on notice and beat the best that's out there. I believe that's the game plan. And I believe that this is the way that this team is going to approach it. And the last time, and I heard this morning on our flagship station, The Fan, was the last time that the Dallas Cowboys were number 1 in scoring and total offense was in 1995. And 95 was a good year.
Yeah, they won something that year, didn't they?
That's a good year.
Yeah.
I love that.
And I think the last time that they led it at the end of the season like that was 71 when they won it the first time with Roger. So, I mean, there's a lot of things going on. If
Book
you
your flight.
Work. Oh, gosh. All right. That's a good one to end on. Thanks for joining us here on Talkin' Cowboys. Tomorrow, we've got a Say It With Your Chest Friday. TV host, radio host, podcast host Trey Wingo is going to join us tomorrow to talk a little bit of Cowboys and Chiefs here on Talkin' Cowboy. He's a longtime Cowboys fan, lifelong Cowboys fan. He's excited to talk about it. He's in Vegas right now, actually, so he's got some maybe some insight there as well. We'll talk about DraftKings, and then, of course, we'll give our predictions. Make sure and give us a call around 9:30-ish, 888-855-2297 to be a part of our Pick'em segment. We'll have updated standings and everything when we come back tomorrow. But for this Thursday edition, Chris Beam, Rob Phillips, Isaiah Stanback, Heckma Harrison, I'm Kyle Yeoman saying so long. We'll see you tomorrow on Talkin' Cowboys.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.